Skate Date is a podcast made by two roller skaters who were like, oh, we're so in love. We want to start a podcast. Actually, that's a lie. It was Shov's idea.
Wait, we weren't in love? That was a lie?
No, that one's not a lie.
That's
it wasn't
it.
like
I'm
us
outta
together.
here.
It wasn't, no, come back. It wasn't like, woo, let's start a podcast. It was like Shove being like, you know what, babe, sounds fun? A podcast. And I was like, let's do it. And now we're here.
We're here. All because of my little mistake.
I think it was a great idea.
It was a great idea.
Yeah, so now we're here.
Welcome to Skate Date.
Skate Date is all about talking about the real world, which is everything that's not roller skating, or just honestly whatever we want to talk about, and
the real world, where we talk about things going on in skating, whether it's like something new and exciting, it's drama, it's community-based, it's, wow, this really cool skater did yada, yada, yada.
Or it's like, look at this cool skate stuff that I really want to look at and talk about. And then we help you to find love, whether it is platonic or romantic, and find your skate date.
And we try to answer your questions to the best of our abilities.
It's pretty great. So I'm Rebel.
And I'm Shove.
And this is us as Shovel.
Shovel.
Can you dig it? I can.
Oh my gosh.
So
okay. Yeah, it was a pretty good week.
Yeah, it was.
We went, well, first of all, we were like, we're going to go through our closets and throw away everything that doesn't fit our amazing aesthetic that we have. And
Which has been on a list for a while of things that we've been meant to do.
Mostly for Rebel. And for me, I was just like, I'm addicted to my clothes. I have many looks. This is what I'm doing. But then this stupid TikTok, or, well, no, it wasn't a TikTok, it was IGTV, of, like, these really stylish, like, European women that are all, like, super rock and roll decked out.
Oh my god, we love them.
And they were, like, doing a whole, like, do you remember getting what it was like to get ready to go out with your friends? So it's, like, this total fashion haul, and it was like, oh, I need to step my hat game up.
It was to die for.
I need more silver rings. Oh
yeah.
my gosh. I definitely have enough bell bottoms to pull off.
I don't have enough animal print to pull it off. Like, all my animal print is for, like, skinny Rebel. And so I had to get rid of a lot of it. So.
Yeah. It's really hard to, like, go through your closet and be like, I don't fit this anymore. I'm not going to sit here and be like, well, when I lose 5 pounds, I'll wear this again. It's, like, cool to have that one special thing to, like, if your weight fluctuates, like, yeah, go ahead and keep a couple of things. But if you're like, this is just making me sad, please just get rid of it. Does more harm than good. Mm-hmm. But yeah, for me, I saw that video and I was like, I don't want to keep anything that doesn't fit this aesthetic or my poofy dress, I'm a princess, grunge princess aesthetic. And then, like, a couple things are like, you know, get dirty in. But I was like, who am I kidding with all these things that, like, I haven't worn in, like, 3 years, 2 years, 1 year. Like, just get out of here. Yeah,
same. So I've gotten rid of, I think, probably 4 trash bags full of clothes.
Yeah, it's crazy. And we're not just, like, throwing them away. Rebel will put it, like, in the alley because there's a lot of houseless people in our neighborhood. And that way they can, like, they always take them, too. So
they take them within, like, 20 minutes.
Yeah, so it's, like, going to someone in need. We're probably going to sell some stuff on Instagram stories or something.
So that I could replace the stuff that I just got rid of.
Out with the old and with the new. But, yeah, we also decided to go on our first date yesterday in, like, a year.
And it was awesome, but it was also like, oh yikes, these are all the things that, like, I hate about going out. And
yeah, they really messed up our first drink. Well, first they didn't give us service in a really long time. We had to wait someone down. Then they get the first drinks we ordered had way too much peppermint when that wasn't. And
it wasn't even an ingredient.
So we sent those back. The next drinks were great. We ordered food.
They never brought us food.
No, they were like the fryers down, so we had to reorder. Then an hour went by. Other people that just showed up got food, and we're like, "Where's our food? It's been an hour," and they're like,
sorry, the kitchen said no."
Yeah, and they were like, what?
And I was like, the kitchen said no, what?
And it took you an hour to tell us that? Like, you forgot to put it in and now the kitchen's closed is what you mean.
Anyway, so, yeah.
Oh, and then there were annoying kids playing by us?
On the classic cars?
Yeah, and no one was doing anything because there's only 2 servers working and the parents were just like, whatever.
It was wild.
And I was just reminded that, like, oh yeah, I don't actually like the real world. I don't actually like all these things that we weren't allowed to do for a long time.
I know, right? Like, some of them I like, but most of them I'm like, this is overpriced.
Yeah. It would have been fine if it was like, only one thing went wrong, but it was like, oh.
It was just compounding.
I just needed to have a hair in my food and it would have been fully on.
Right. Yeah, so that is a little bit about our week. Something exciting that I wanted to tell you about, babe. I know that you've like kind of seen these, but I just got some new earrings into Cheers to the Queer shop, and they are little mini skates, but they are stud earrings.
Wait, those aren't earrings? I've been eating them.
No, you have not been eating them. Shut up.
I thought they were candy.
We need to check your intestines.
Oh my god, I thought they were skate-shaped Skittles.
Puncture your lungs.
Maybe that's what that pain is.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so they look like little mini skate erasers or little mini skate candies. And they're actually just stud earrings. And I call them the skate and stud on them earrings. And what's cool is that there's a set that is rainbow, and then there's also a set that has cool colors, so like purple, blue, aqua, and green, and a set that has warm colors, so pink, red, orange, and yellow.
We have Taste the Rainbow.
Skittles, but not.
We have Kool-Aid. And then we have Tequila Sunrise.
Oh my god, I'm going to change the names of those to that. Those are so good. Anyway, so if you get the rainbow set, you only get one of each color, but like it's way more cool to mix and match.
Just like your socks.
Skate earrings. And it's like a subtle way to be like, I'm a roller skater, but also like I'm subtle and nuanced.
And you can buy a pack with your best friend, and then you can be like, if you're like, I really need to have matching ears, then you can trade with them.
Oh my god, that's so cute. I love that.
How much are they, babe?
They're $20 a pack.
Ooh, and where can I find them?
You can find them on Etsy.com/shop/cheers to the queers.
That's awesome. I wish my ears weren't stretched so that I could wear them.
We can just get your second piercing on your ears done.
Nah.
When we first started dating, Shove got a nose piercing because she wanted to be like me and have multiple nose piercings.
Okay. All right, let's jump into this real world. All right, welcome to the real world.
The real world, where we talk about real things, like pandemic trauma.
Yeah, this could be something I totally made up, but I've been thinking about it the last couple days.
I really don't think you just made this up. I definitely think that pandemic trauma is a very real, very tangible thing.
No, like, for sure it's a thing, but, like, in the way, like, I want to talk about it, I'm sure it's under the umbrella of it, but it's not what I think when I think, like, trauma.
Okay, so how do you want to define pandemic trauma?
I don't want to define it as a whole because that's going to be a whole nother episode when we're actually out of this and then trying to work through the trauma. I feel like we're still in it. But I think what I'm trying to address this specific episode is when you see like the light at the end of the tunnel and you're like, okay, we're almost there. Like, we're almost back to the actual real world, what things used to be. We're going to be post-pandemic, but we're still in the pandemic. So I feel like the world is starting to shift. Like, so many people are getting vaccinated. You're starting to see more people go out, feeling more confident and safe to be out, people gathering in groups. And I feel like it's doing something to the psyche where a lot of us feel guilty when we go out, or we're still like throwing like fingers and like call outs to people that are gathering and traveling. And it's like weird because you're like, wait, technically they can do that now, but then there's still a pandemic.
Yeah, I definitely think it's all very weird. It's definitely messing with my psyche. Like, I have been fully vaccinated for about a month now, where like it's past the point where it's like fully gone into effect. So I'm 100% safe. Everything is all good. And yet I still feel weird. Like, I can't like let anyone know that I'm outside. And maybe it's because we took the pandemic and the quarantine and everything like so seriously. Like, we took it more serious in our household than most of the people that I know. And so maybe it's because it's like an extreme. And then like, you know how when you do a New Year's resolution for a full year and then like on January 1st of the next year, you're like, oh no, I shouldn't be doing this. Have you ever had that experience?
No, because you know I don't believe in resolutions.
Okay, so one year when I was a lot younger, I decided to not eat chocolate for a whole year. Don't ask me why. I'm a psychopath.
Obviously.
I just wanted to see if I could do it. And so I didn't eat chocolate for a full year. And then on January 1st, I remember eating a brownie and I was like, oh my God, I feel so bad. Like I shouldn't actually be doing this. But it was like, it was fine. Like I could just like eat chocolate because the time was up.
Mm-hmm.
But it felt wrong. Like I felt bad. And so maybe it's that same thing, but applied with like lots more glaring eyes and like lots more seriousness than just not eating chocolate.
Yeah, because there's a couple of things. Like one, you're like, I don't know, I feel like there's been this whole, like we've been constantly being told like, no, you can't do that. You shouldn't do this. Like, no, 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 no. This will cause people to die. This will cause this pandemic to go longer. And it's just like this whole thing we've been hearing for a whole year. And it's just like hard to be like, okay, now you can. You're free. And it's like, it's almost like a dog that has to deal with like a shock collar. And it's like, once that shock collar's off, they're still not going to walk through.
Yeah, and I think it's also weird when not everyone has the freedom to do it. And it's not like there's some sort of marking on us that demonstrates that we're free to do it. So, like, people probably see us or hear that we went out on a date and they're like, oh my God, how could you have done that?
You're a hypocrite.
You're a hypocrite. But it's like, we're both fully vaccinated, so we literally can. And our whole household is fully vaccinated. And our family. Like,
yeah,
literally we are fine. And yet, I still feel bad. And I'm sure that other people are like, what's going on with you? You know?
Well, that goes into the other part of it is not only like being told that you can't for so long, but also like the whole call out of like, you were out with your friends without a mask, or like you were at an outdoor bar or at a restaurant. And, like there was so much of that and like public shaming.
So
like,
much public shame.
Yeah, even like we've done it. So like, and it's like, cause it's like, hey, like you're being selfish. Stop doing that. And now it's like hard for me, I know, to shift and be like, well, maybe like that whole group's been vaccinated. Like I know for me, I was at work the other day and my coworker was like, hey, are you cool if I take off my mask? And she's been vaccinated for months now. And I've been vaccinated for 1 month. And I was like, yeah, you're good. And then like, for some reason, I kept wearing my mask. And then all of a sudden I was like, wait, I don't have to. Like even the CDC said, like if you're both vaccinated, if a bunch of people are vaccinated in one room, like you're fine. So like now we were both without our mask on. It was like, wow, this is crazy. Like it feels so wrong, but feels so great at the same time. And then when the one person that doesn't have a vaccine, we put our mask back on because then it's like, we got to respect them still. But it's just so weird.
That's so weird. Yeah, no, I literally went to dinner with my friend the other day outside and there was like no one anywhere near us. And I was like, I feel so bad that I am out with my friend who is also vaccinated and at this restaurant when there's like no one within even 10 feet of us and, you know, whatever. But it was like, you feel so bad.
Yeah, and then you feel privileged too because it's like, oh yeah, I could do this. And you're like, oh, some people can't. Like they're still waiting. Like at least we're like I've had other people in other countries be like, oh, you're so lucky. So many people have been vaccinated. Like our president doesn't even believe in it. Like we're not going to get him anytime soon.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy that America is like sort of getting their shit together and actually doing
but
this.
that doesn't surprise me. Like America's never been good at following rules, but definitely America would get on track when they're like, oh, we want to be the first ones to one, fix our economy, and two, we just want to fix our economy.
Yeah.
We want people to get back to work.
Money, money, money.
Yeah.
That's what it always comes back down to. I don't know. It's just like, it's weird because like the whole travel thing too, like we have a friend that traveled recently and then someone we used to know was wilding out and being like, how dare they go? Like they're talking about making sure you wear a mask and being like safe during a pandemic and then you're traveling, blah, blah. And it was like, have you watched the news? Like you're going from one area that has really low numbers to another area that has really low numbers. And like, you're still wearing a mask. There's a shift. But then like, I can't be like, hey, you should stop talking crap because this person still is probably having this, like, pandemic trauma of, like, not understanding that, like, the world's shifting now.
Well, I mean, because there was a lot of talk, and this is something that I also felt very strongly about, / feel very strongly about, like, white people going to predominantly locations that are predominantly black or predominantly just other, like...
BIPOC
locations, and, like, not wearing masks and spreading COVID and stuff. And that was definitely a big thing. But at this moment, when people are already vaccinated, like, you're not spreading anything.
Yeah.
You're, like, and if you're staying away from everyone, like, you're not endangering other people. And so it is important for us to make that shift mentally in our own heads, because, like, I know I'm still trying to catch myself because I'm being judgy as hell too, and I, like, have to keep, like, going back and being like, Rebel, you know, like, you should not be judging because, you know, X, Y, and Z says everything is fine, but it's like, it doesn't feel fine because I'm traumatized.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot. And it was, like, a lot of talks about how, like, we have physical trauma, and, like, this time last year, how things were still, like, super, super, super scary. Like, now we're like, this is our new norm. But, like, they were saying, like, a lot of people will have these body pains and stuff, and it's because, like, we're hitting a whole year, and it's, like, our bodies are remembering everything that we went through. And, like, now it's, like, you're gonna have the whole trauma of, like, what this did to us socially and everything. Like, I had a bunch of coworkers that were in town, are in town, and they came to the HQ office on Friday, and I just felt like I didn't know how to act. Like, I put my skates on for a little while, and then I was just like, this feels weird. Like, we all had our mask on, we were all, like, separated still, and, like, most of us are vaccinated, but it was like, I don't know how to act with all these people, like, to talk. And it was literally, like, just 6 new people around. And I was like, just being socially awkward. I was like, I don't remember how to act.
I mean, I've had a couple people, like, hit me up to go skating. And I'm like, oh my God, going skating with new people? Like, I can't do that yet. Like, I'm not in that space yet. Like, I haven't even hung out with my friends that I've had for forever, you know, like, much less meet up with new people. One, it's good because I'm still injured, really, so I'm not able to really go on a long skate with another person. So that's, like, kind of the excuse I've been using. But also, I feel weird. Like, I can't do it yet. And I don't know. It's weird because I don't feel like I have an explanation. Like, I don't know. I feel weird. Like, I don't know yet. I'm not ready. It's going to take me some time to get used to this.
Yeah, and I'm already naturally a really anxious person. And, like, so even when I'm hanging out with my friends, like, close friends, I'm like, I'll say something and then I'm like, oh, why'd you say that? They hate you. Like, I was so stupid. Stop talking. And so, like, I can only imagine with someone, like, new that definitely, like, I know, like, has no reason to, like, be like, oh, this person's cool. Like, until, like, and I feel like I'm going to start oversharing or over-talking or, like, rambling, or just the opposite where I shut down completely and say, like, 2 words the whole time. And it's just, like, I don't know where I'll be at. And it's, like, even weirder because it's, like, oh my God, I haven't been forced to act normal in a long time.
Yeah.
Like, me and Rebel are just extra weird now because we definitely don't do anything normal. And we're like, what's it called? Like, we went feral, basically. We've just been, like, the 2 of us.
Oh, yeah, we're so weird.
We're so weird. We're so gross now. Like, it's like, I don't even want anyone else to come over.
The tea. We are so weird and feral right now.
Yeah, it's just like we've been left to our own devices for a whole year.
Yeah.
It's like, what's even socially acceptable anymore? Like, when we were at the beach on our anniversary, and we're laying on the blanket for our picnic, and I had, was it a dress? Or no, it was shorts. I had, like, shorts on, and then so Rebel, my butt is in the air because we're sideways, and we're, like, holding each other, and she has her hand on my thigh, and she straight up lifts my shorts all the way up to, like, fill out my butt cheek. And I'm like, babe, like, there's people all around. I'm like, we're in public. Like, we're in public right now. What are you doing? And I was just like, it's because we're usually, that was the first time we've cuddled outside in like over a year. So of course she's gonna fill me up, and not thinking like, hello, don't show your girlfriend's ass to the whole world on the bluffs.
Oh, guilty.
Good
I'm
times.
super guilty of that one. Yeah, definitely just weird and don't know what to do with myself, and life is weird and funny, and yeah. So now that times are changing, what adjustments are we making?
Well, the one adjustment we're not making is the mask. We're still keeping our mask on. Still remember to still like take all the precautions, because like you're not 100% immune just because you have the vaccine. So still kind of do the same things. The adjustments are now, if you invite like a bunch of people that are fully vaccinated to your house, you can hang out. So like I know we're gonna have a barbecue next month, and it's gonna be our first like get together since we've lived here, to be honest, because we
moved in
December,
and then bam.
4 months later. Yeah, so I just think it's like little adjustments is like being able to be social again with like people outside of your quarantine circle, and that's crazy. I was talking to my coworker / friend, and she mentioned that she felt like she lost friends over the pandemic, and that's the roughest one. That there's like people they lost contact with through the last year, and it's like, what do you do when the world opens up? Like, are you just like, hey, what's up, and you're friends again, or are those friendships over? Like, so I think it's a lot of like making sure that like we're not holding that like, well, that person never reached out to me, and like just remembering like everyone went through this huge trauma. Like, this isn't normal what we did. Like, it might feel like normal now, but nothing about the last year was normal. So we got to remember, like, when those people do reach out, or you're gonna reach out, like, don't be afraid. Like, I think it's completely normal. I don't think anyone's gonna be mad at you. Like, they're gonna understand that, like, hey, like, it is what it is. Like, didn't make it to the people that are like necessary to be in your inner circle, whether because they live the closest, and like it's good to have like that support system. But I think like you just gotta really know that it's okay to like forgive people and like lower your expectations, and know that like now the doors are opening back up. That's when you're gonna revive those friendships and relationships.
Yeah, I definitely think it's hey, I haven't talked to you for a year. I've been through some shit. Have you been through some shit? Yeah. Okay, great. Let's go out to coffee, or let's do something.
Yeah, right? Come over for a drink, and you'll imagine like how amazing it's going to be though. Like having a year's worth of stuff to talk about to a friend you haven't seen in a long time.
So much stuff to talk about.
Yeah, like it's almost kind of cool, because it's like gonna be epic to be like, wow, this group of people hasn't been together in that long. Like,
yeah, it'll be cool. I definitely feel like my friend circle has gotten very, very small, and yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. But I also feel like I've gotten rid of some people that I never want in my life ever again, and I was like, thanks, pandemic, you did that for me.
Hallelujah. It just sucks that we don't have a valid excuse anymore. Like, we can't be like, I'm sorry, quarantine.
Yeah, that is true. All right, did you have anything else to add to the adjustments that we're making or anything?
I just want to remind people to not be so quick to judge right now. I know it's really hard, and it can be triggering in a way to like see people doing things that we haven't been allowed to do for so long. And I think now it's all about shifting all the call outs and trying to be like, this person was hanging out, and being like, maybe they're allowed to, but it's just weird because we don't know. So just start shifting your frame of mind, I guess.
Yeah, keeping an open mind and just being like, kind to people.
Yeah, and just still watch the numbers and wash your hands and wear a mask.
Yeah. All right, let's move on over to the wheel world. Welcome to the wheel world.
Oh my gosh, I feel like we already know skate sales went through the roof.
Yeah.
And then you couldn't find anything skates. You couldn't find any wheels. You couldn't find skate leashes. You couldn't find bearings. You couldn't find toe stops. You couldn't find
tools. You still can't find any tools, to be honest.
They sell out pretty fast still. But what's crazy is like now everyone has their skates. Well, most people have their skates. And now it's like every single accessory you could think of. Like things I never even saw before this pandemic are now like a thing to put on your skates, and like everyone's buying them.
Yeah, it is wild the amount. So the only reason why I have any sort of metric for this is based off of the things that people ask me to review or to talk about on my YouTube. And previous to the pandemic, the main things that people asked for were like, wheels. It was like beginners. What they wanted to change was like the wheels and like the toe stops. And now beginners are out here like, let me change my cushions and let me adjust my trucks or switch out my plates or like do all this stuff that literally no one ever cared about before. I mean, like not no one, like I'm saying primarily beginners.
Yeah.
Beginners never cared about any of this stuff because they were just like, let me just get on some wheels and like try it. And whatever wheels are going to be best for going over little cracks. Like, that's what I want.
Yeah. I think now it's just, like, information overload, and they're being marketed to, like, skaters are being marketed to all the time, because everyone watches YouTube, everyone's on Instagram, so, like, they see all these, like, other skaters that are creating, like, skate charms and stuff, and, like, it's constant marketing when you think about it, and then, like, it's a lot of information, too, of, like, you should do this, you should do this, you can do this, so then people are like, oh, I should try that, I should try that, I should try that, and next thing you know, you're like, did I just spend $2,000 in a month?
Yeah, I think that what's happening is, and like, I'm aware that I'm part of the problem.
You are.
Definitely.
I am too.
But we just give so much information out, and because people are more like on the internet than they are in person, it's like they're just consuming all of this like skate content, and in skate content, it's like, this is what I use. And it's like, a beginner doesn't need a Moxie Jack boot. Period. No. Like, you might like one, and that would be great. But, like, the Moxie Jack boot is my favorite skate. Period. Like, I love it. If I could, I would switch out all of my skates to it. But, whatever. I don't. But, like, I know, like, there are beginners who are like, I should get the Moxie Jack boot. I'm like, honestly, it's a really big investment when you're a beginner skater. Like, you should get the Rainbow Rider, or if you want to spend more money, like the Lolly or the Beach Bunny. Like, I don't know. It's just kind of crazy, like, that's what's happening. And they're like, oh, I need to make sure I have the right bearings, and I need to make sure I have the right, all of this stuff that or before pandemic, pre-pandemic, it was kind of like, you just throw some skates on.
Yeah, I think before the pandemic, it was more like you went skating with your friends and, like, you met people and you'd be like, oh, what kind of wheels are you using? And I'd be like, blah, blah. And you'd be like, oh, how do you like those? And they'd be like, oh, I like it for this kind of skating. And you're like, oh, that's what I've been doing. So then you'll try what that person recommended, and then you kind of just fill it out, and then you don't really hear about something else until someone mentions it or you see it. So, like, since there wasn't so much constant stuff coming out, you didn't feel the need to buy stuff. Like, I didn't hear about, like, Swiss bearings for, like, a really long time, and then someone was talking about it, and I was like, oh, that sounds awesome. So then, like, I bought some, but that was probably, like, 2 years into skating, and now I feel like, as someone that works at a skate shop, like an online one, I see these orders come in, and it'll be, like, a lot of stuff, and you can tell, but it'll be like, I got a Rainbow Rider, but then I want to get ceramic bearings and 101 roller bones, and it's like, if you're a new skater, to have a wheel that hard, like, it can be dangerous, but then you see that, like, that's what people are recommending, so you do it, and it's like, oh no, like, baby steps.
When you first start skating, you do not need the best, period.
Yeah, you don't need the best.
I mean, even when you're more advanced, you still don't need the best. Like, a good skater can skate on whatever. Yeah, there's going to be some skates and some things about your skates that are going to help you versus, like, holding you back. But to skate, all you need is, like, a boot with some wheels on it attached with a plate and trucks. Like, that is what you need to skate. And you don't need the best boot there is out there, and you don't need the best wheels out there, and you don't need the best plate or the best trucks, and don't let anyone tell you that you can't be a good skater without X, Y, and Z, because it's just not true.
Yeah, when I'm in the virtual skate shop, I always tell people, I'm like, you can get these, but you don't need them. And I always tell them, like, later down the line, when you're like, oh, I like this, like, I'm skating, this is definitely 100% for me, that's when you invest in something different. Because the funny thing is, you might think, like, you want to be one type of skater, and then you realize you're going to be a completely different kind. And every kind of skating has a different thing you're going to want. Also, everyone's going to like something different.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, what works for me isn't going to necessarily work for you. I know a lot of people that hate my favorite outdoor wheels, but I like them.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people that skate fun days everywhere. I hate skating them fun days anywhere but the skate park, and that was when I was new. Now they're too slow for me. So it's all about your personal journey, and it's really good to try things out, but then when you start buying, like, every single thing that someone mentions, it's kind of like, I feel like we're doing retail therapy at that point. But, I mean, at the same time, as long as you're putting that money back into the skate community, I guess.
I feel like something we should say, like, now that we're into this discussion, is we're not hating on people who have bought a bunch of stuff or who like buying a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
We're saying that, like, if you feel the compulsory need to buy these things because skate influencers or YouTubers or people are telling you that you have to buy them, think twice about that. Like, because you probably don't need it.
Yeah, and it's like, if you just want it because you're like, these are cute, these are awesome, I want it, then buy them. Treat yourself. I'm all about a treat yourself moment.
I buy lots of skate stuff that I don't need at all.
And it's just, that's one of those things, like, so you want to have everything decked out, that's cool. And I totally get, like, all the accessories and stuff because you want to be confident in your skates, and the cuter your skates are, the cuter you feel. And we're not talking about that. Go ham. Make your skates what you want them to be. But we're talking about, like, hardware things that you think, or even the boot itself, that you think you have to ball out and spend all this money when you don't. Or, like, one thing that bothers me that someone reached out and tried to sell to me too was, they're not jam straps, but they're the other one that's like a strap that goes through and it's supposed to keep your foot to the plate more. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And
I don't know what those are called, though.
I see so many people on Instagram wearing them. And to be honest,
you don't need them.
You don't need them. If you need them or you feel like they're doing the thing they're marketed to do, it's
because
your skates are too big.
Yeah, they're not sized right.
It's because that's the only reason I'm like, if your skates are too big, yeah, they're probably helping, but you should never have to add anything.
Literally, the reason why I wore them in Derby is because my skates were a whole size too big.
Yeah. So, like, a lot of people will tell you, like, even when they reached out to me, he was like, you're going to be a better skater with these. Like, you have to try them. Like, you think you're skating good now, but you're not. This is going to it makes everyone a better skater. And I was like, no.
If someone says that something that you buy is going to make you a better skater, think,
Yeah, because I've seen people, I'll tell you right now, I've seen people shred in beach bunnies. Like, shred. And I'm talking about, like, Stone. Stone was doing some crazy stuff in those beach bunnies, like all kinds of, like, slides, lots of rails, like, crazy stuff all over the place. And I was like, in some bunnies, and they were, like, holding up, and a lot of people were like, no, you have to have a jack boot. And it's like, no.
Have you seen the people that shred in kayas?
Yes.
People shred in kayas, and kayas are way cheaper than a lot of other skates. So, yeah, so it's not about, like, buying some certain skate stuff is not magically going to make you a better skater. Like, even when, like, people said to me, like, oh, you should get some, like, better bearings because, not better bearings like the company Better Bearings, like better bearings, like faster ones. Because I'm a jammer in Derby, and they were like, you should get some faster bearings because it'll help you gain speed on the track. It's not like I switched my bearings out and then all of a sudden was like 5 miles an hour faster. It was like, I was like a smidge faster. Like, it gave me like a hair of, you know, a little bit of help. Mm-hmm. And that for me is worth it. But, like, as a beginner skater specifically, you're not going to be able to tell the difference.
Yeah, nor do you want to necessarily fly that fast, especially if you're skating outdoors. And, like, I've told people, like, if you're not good at hills and you have these really good bearings on, you're going to pick up speed so fast and you don't even know how to really do a turnaround toe stop yet. That can be scary. So sometimes, like, the things that come at a lower cost, like, are okay when you're beginners because you don't want to fly around super fast yet. I don't know, like, but yeah, it's very important that you do know, like Rebel said, like, nothing's gonna make you a better skater. Your talent, it will help you. Like, sometimes your skates can hold you back once you hit a certain level. So I think there's, like, a thin line of just knowing the difference between the two. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that is the wheel world, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, so, like, just remember you're taking in, we love that you listen to Skate Date, that you love Queer Girl Street Skates, you watch, like, all these other YouTube channels, there's so many skate YouTubes now, and everyone wants to share, like, things they know, because it's things they learned through their skate journey, and they're like, oh, I'm going to share this with the people, and even though they're not trying to sell you anything, it just comes off that way. It's weird. It just happens because people want to do what they did. And just make sure, like, you take all the information down and then you compare things and you really think about what you want to do personally and then do it. Because then I feel like we do end up like, oh, we bought these wheels because this YouTuber was like, these are great. And then a month later, this YouTuber was like, actually, these ones are better. I don't like those. So then you buy those wheels. And then you're like, just keep going and going. And I think especially during a pandemic when we're like, we have nothing else to do, we just start buying. And I just want to make sure that y'all know, like, buy what works for you, not what the people are telling you to.
Yeah, definitely. And I will say, specifically me with my YouTube channel, most of the stuff that I'm reviewing because someone asked me to review it. I'm not reviewing it because I'm like, I'm trying to sell this to you. Or I'm reviewing it because I need to justify purchasing it myself. Like, oh, I spent money on this. I should probably tell other people about it because I spent this money on it.
No, definitely.
Yeah. Well, that's the wheel world. So let's go on to find your skate date.
OMG.
Find your skate date. What's Find Your Skate Date, baby?
Find Your Skate Date is a segment where we try to help you find a skate date for the rest of your life.
Like shove to me.
So yeah, people write in like a little bio and what they're looking for, whether it's platonic or romantic. And they also send a little picture so we can post about them on our Instagram. And then other little skaters that hopefully live by you will find you. And then, yeah, skate magic will happen.
Y'all, if you didn't know, Shove is so comfy to cuddle with. Don't ever do it. I'll freaking kill you. But she's so comfy, and I just love putting my little head on her little shoulder, and that could potentially be you with your future skate date. So write us in at dearskatedate@gmail.com.
Someone recently told me that. They're like, you're so cuddly. Who was I sitting next to?
I don't know.
Oh, I won't say it because I don't want you to kill them. But yeah, someone recently told me that I was really cuddly.
I will kill them. Okay. So, this Find Your Skate Date is Lydia. Lydia says, I am Lydia. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a 30-year-old roller skater and fly fisher woman from Sacramento, California. That's so cool. Anyways, okay. When I'm not at work, I'm usually skating, fishing, or probably watching RuPaul's Drag Race. Oh, what a well-rounded woman. I'm pretty new to roller skating right now as I'm just learning some of the basics like backward skating and transitioning. My goal is to eventually join a derby league. Yeah. I would love to find friends in my area who are also skaters. Not looking for love, just friends. LOL. I'm looking for experienced skaters who will help me learn and teach me things. I'm looking for new skaters to learn with, and I'm mostly looking for like-minded humans who want to connect, learn, and laugh with me. Connect, learn, and laugh. My Instagram is at Lidellen Skates. Lidellen Skates. Lidellen Skates. I'm sorry, I'm really butchering that, but it's LYDELEN Skates.
You started spitting out.
Oh, wait, there it is. Lidellen.
Lidellen.
Lidellen. Lidellen Skates. Yeah, Lidellen. Lydia.
Oh my my gosh.
Oh my gosh. So, Lydia sounds super cool. Have you ever gone fly fishing, babe?
No, I've always wanted to, though, and it always makes me think of McDreamy and Grey's Anatomy.
I know, right? It looks so cool and, like, tranquil.
But also, like, your arm probably gets really tired. You're just, like, you keep going and going.
I have always been scared. Okay, I went fishing for the first time this year, and I've always been scared that, like, you go like this, and you go to throw it, and then it gets stuck in your back, and then it rips your back. It's terrifying.
It's gotten stuck in my jacket
before. Oh, God. I hate it.
Also, for her first time fishing, she caught so many fish.
It was
but then it was sculpin, cool. So it's like, here, you might get stabbed.
Yeah, it was, they wouldn't let us take the fish off of the hook because they were like, this is bad. You're going to get poisoned. And I was oh, okay. But anyways. So if you are Lydia's skate date, then hit up Lydia at Lidellen Skates. And if you are in if you are in Sacramento, California, and you are a skater, maybe you can be Lydia's skate date.
Go fishing for your Lydia.
Oh, man. And if you want to have your profile read, again, dearskatedate@gmail.com. Now, moving on from Find Your Skate Date to Dear Shovel.
Funny because I feel like you keep struggling here and there too, or is it just I think you are because I'm high and you're like you're struggling?
I don't know.
Lots of pauses, and I'm like, is she really pausing or is time slowing down? All right, so now we have Dear Shovel. What do we talk about in Dear Shovel?
So in Dear Shovel, what we do is we are the 2021 modern day Dear Abby. And for all of you who don't know who Abby is, Abby was this random person who was a writer for a newspaper who people would send in letters asking questions about random things. And then in the Dear Abby column, Abby would write back. So we are doing Dear Shovel, where you ask us questions about literally anything, and then we answer your questions, love shovel. And we have good and not so good answers, so we're not promising anything. But because it's super fun, you should definitely send us an email at dearskatedate@gmail.com entitled Dear Shovel, and then ask us whatever question you have.
Let's jump on in.
Okay.
Dear Shovel, this may be a long question for Dear Shovel, but I hope you at least read this and ponder it.
Pondering.
Are you happy that I have my glasses on and I can actually read it?
Very happy.
But I hope you at least read this and ponder it. I am just starting my roller skating journey, and I have a ton of anxiety to leave my house and skate outside for the first time. I realized it was because I don't have any friends in my small town, and I am afraid of falling in public. I'm not afraid to fall in public because I'm afraid of getting hurt, but rather I am afraid to fall as a tall and fat person and having people laughing and pointing at me. I feel like when straight-sized people fall, they get an "are you okay?" But when a fat person falls, it's a big joke and the fatphobia is strong. Will that happen? Probably not in my mid-sized town in central Wisconsin, but my anxiety still exists. My question is, how do you get over that internalized fatphobia as a new skater? Because I am alone in this journey, at least alone in person, I feel like I can't lean on anyone when the fatphobia becomes too much. And it's scaring me from putting on my skates and roll. Help.
Aww. One, fuck everyone who thinks that being fat is bad or something to laugh at, because it's not.
True. Also, sorry, but even in your little town, people will laugh and fat phobia is everywhere. And I think, like, this sounds so dark to just be like, to always expect it, to always be prepared. Like, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. Like, and you just gotta kind of reframe it. It's really about building your own confidence. It's about getting a really good speaker that you can clip to your belt, your fanny pack, and play music that makes you feel empowered and strong. And when you fall, people might laugh. People might come to your rescue. I am a very fat black woman. And when I fall, people always try to run to my help. And I'm usually like, please don't. Like, I'm fine. But thank you.
I definitely think it is more likely that people will run to help you than it is that they will just, like, stand there and laugh at you.
It's the kids that laugh.
Yeah. If there are kids around, they're the assholes. I also think that, I don't know, like, adults, for real, like, they're embarrassed to be caught laughing because they know it's fucking rude. And so they're going to be a little bit more discreet about it, which might work in your favor.
Yeah, it's really tough when you're alone. Like, I know when I skate by myself, I get really nervous until, like, I'm really warmed up. Like, you just gotta you gotta push through that initial, like, it's gonna be, you're gonna show up, you're gonna start skating, you're gonna be like, oh my god, I'm freaking out, I'm all alone, like, there's other people here, they're probably staring at me, like, what is this fat person doing on skates? And then you're gonna put your music on, and you're gonna be like, wait, I freaking love this song, you're gonna sing to yourself, you're gonna feel a little bit better. Once you start moving, like skating, you're gonna notice your blood's pumping more, you feel a little bit better. Hopefully that helps with your, like, fight or flight, and you're just, like, getting your blood moving enough to be like, I got this, and before you know it, you're just focusing on how good skating feels, and you'll be fine. But sometimes you won't win, and you're gonna be like, this is too much to deal with, and then you just go home, but you try to stay out a little bit longer the next time.
Sometimes, I'm trying to think of, like, what I do when I fall in public, because I do fall a lot in public, and, like, how I address it, and I fall in embarrassing ways.
Oh my god, remember when we were at Rise and Skate?
No.
And for some reason, like, the safety cones, the high ones, in some world you thought you could skate over it, even though you have really short legs, you're really short.
I know, it looked like I could skate over it.
And it, like, plopped her in her lady parts, and she just Superman down, but you jumped up so freaking fast.
I was so embarrassed.
You jumped up so fast and just stayed with the crowd, and everyone was just like, ooh!
Yeah, and I was like, ha ha ha, derby.
You did say
like,
that.
Just kept going.
All I could think was, like, in what world did you think you were going to skate over that? But that was in a big group of people.
Yeah, that was embarrassing. But nobody, like, laughed at me. Like, They were just like, oh, which I think is also more likely to happen as people go, oh, which is also super embarrassing. But the way that I deal with it is I try and laugh at myself. Definitely. Like, I try and think, because you know what? Falling is funny.
It is funny.
Falling when you're fat is funny. You know, like my little boobies are going all up in the place, and then my tummy is coming out, and, like, it's funny, you know? And so I try and think, like, oh, that is kind of funny. And so I try and, like, imagine what happened from an outsider's perspective, even if nobody's, like, out there watching or laughing at me. I try and, like, laugh at it, because also I think, oh, this is going to be a great story I'm going to be able to tell later, you know? And so I do think, like, falling is kind of a badge of honor in the skate community. And so I think of it as something like, oh, maybe I can tell my Instagram followers about this, and, you know, someone will be like, ha ha ha, and I'll be like, ha ha ha.
I get so mad if I fall and, like, no one was recording, and I'm like, dang it, I fell for nothing. There's something about a fall. It's just hilarious.
So
when you
funny.
watch it, especially, and you put it in slow-mo, and you're like, this is great. I'm going to post it. I'm going to turn this into a positive. Like, who cares? Because, like, all new skaters, every size, is terrified of falling and being laughed at. You have skaters, especially, it's just like, you're in a marginalized large body, and that's why you feel that way. Older people, like, older skaters have messaged me, and they're like, I'm afraid to fall because I'm
scared,
old.
Yeah.
And, like, not because of getting hurt and being older, but because, like, the embarrassment. And I think it's just, like, we're always worried. Like, we always think it's gonna be, like, in The Simpsons, that one kid that's like, ha ha, like Nelson. That's what we hear. Like, that's where my mind goes, that there's gonna be this loud voice, and it's just gonna be this harrowing, like, ha ha, like, and you're gonna be like, oh god. Oh god, now everyone's looking because someone's pointing at me and laughing, and all eyes are on me, but half the time, that's not even the case.
Yeah. People
see you fall, they're gonna make their ooh, or oh no, or are you okay? And then you're going to get up and they're all going to turn around and not even think about you.
And you're probably literally never going to see those people ever again in your entire life.
Yeah.
And they're not, once they leave, they're not thinking about it. Like, they've forgotten already. They're like, haha, and then they, like, La la, what am I having for lunch? Like, that's literally what's happening. That's what I tell my public speaking students because they get really, really scared of public humiliation. Like, oh, I'm going to say something. I'm going to be like, boobs. And then they're like, I'm mortified.
Oh,
you know, like, nobody's leaving that classroom and being like, haha, this person said something, like, inappropriate and weird. It's like, nobody cares. Like, everyone's too self-centered and focused on their own life. Most of the time, people aren't even going to notice that you fell because they're so self-centered. Because that's what people are. No, it's real. Yeah. It's real, though. Yeah. Tell me I'm wrong.
Honestly, the only thing that's to make it better is repetition.
Yeah.
The more you do it, especially the more you skate in one spot, you'll start to feel like it's a safe place. And you're like, no, like, I belong here. This is where I come to skate. And, like, who cares what happens here? Like, I'm just doing my thing.
Yep. Yeah. So that's our advice for your question. I hope that we gave you, like, a good enough answer. And, yeah, if you have a question for us about anything, doesn't have to be skating, could be anything life-centric, could be about Bowie, could be about us, could be anything. You just can write it in a little email and send it to dearskatedate@gmail.com. Babe, you want to announce the next thing on our list?
What's the next thing on our list?
Well, the next thing on our list is something called the 5-Star Parade.
We're calling it a parade now?
It's a parade of people.
Okay.
Okay, it's a 5-star. It's like a star. It's a walk of fame. A 5-star street. A 5-star...
A 5-star
community. The Michelin star.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, anyway, so people give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, and we, like, really, really, really appreciate it. Like, it's super, super awesome. And if you give us 5 stars, then it'll help us fulfill our lifelong dream of being recognized by the man, a.k.a. iTunes.
Not the man.
But if you give us 5 stars and you leave a little comment, we'll be super, super grateful. And we will shout you out. And today, this week's 5-star shout out goes to...
Reets131.
Reets131! Wah, wah, wah! Reets, you're the bomb.com.
Reets131 says... Starting listening to the podcast while I work, and I feel like I'm more productive, LOL. Like I'm doing my work, and my coworkers are chatting away with something interesting.
Wait, that is so cute. I love that. Yeah, so thank you so much. That is so sweet. Reets, what do you do? Like, what are we coworkers for? Like, what's your job?
Leave another 5-star review and answer a question. We start having conversations.
Or just email us. I mean, yeah, that's fine. But yeah, thank you so much, Reeds. We think you're the best. We're so appreciative. If you like our podcast and you like us, then you can leave 5 stars. You can leave a comment or subscribe to us on our YouTube because we're trying to get 1,000 subscribers so that we can be monetized. But, like... we're literally nowhere near that. So even if you're not a YouTube person, if you want to just go on YouTube really fast and look up Skate Date Podcast and then just be like, subscribe, we would be like, thank you so much.
Yeah, we still need like 480 subscribers. So I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, babe.
But it's okay. It's okay. Maybe. Maybe. All
3 years from now, we'll be there.
No, that's so extra. Okay, well, thanks for hanging out with us. Did you like the skate date, babe?
I barely remember what happened.
She showed up high to the skate date. Are you gonna come back and go on another skate date with her?
They're like, no, I don't take drug addicts.
They're like, I would have preferred if she would have offered us a joint. What?
Don't bogart that joint, my friend. Well, how's it go? What's the beat?
I don't know.
There's like an old song. Whatever. That's fine.
Oh, okay. So what? We get drunk.
No.
So what? We smoke weed. We're just having fun.
I was gonna record my podcast, but then I got high. I was gonna feed Bowie, but then I got high. Ba-da-da-da-da-da.